Hello everyone, I'm Rebecca and welcome back to my sewing room. Today we are going to address a really quick and easy alterations project that I think all too many of us are in need of. If you notice, I am wearing this blouse, which is brand new. I got it from Target and I absolutely love it. But there's one issue with it, and it might not be that clear yet, but if I keep moving around, I think it'll become a little bit clear. Yep, the all too infamous gap in the buttons. I think it's something that a lot of us have faced on a lot of clothing. And this blouse overall is honestly very large and blousy, but because of the little pin tucks right here, this is the tightest spot in the blouse, and it also happens to just gape a little. And nobody likes a gaping blouse. So today we are going to take a really quick look at how to fix that problem, and it involves a hidden button closure. So let's go ahead, take a closer look at this blouse. I'll show you how this hidden button closure works. First though, let me show you what it actually looks like in practice. Now, one of the things that I like about eShakti dresses, which I know I've talked about before, no, this video is not sponsored, though they have sponsored me in the past, but one of the things I like about them is that often when you have areas where the buttons are further spaced apart, they will already put in this hidden button closure. So right now I have this top button here undone, but look at that, there's our hidden button. So basically the way this works is that we are going to put a button on the inside of the over flap and a buttonhole on the under flap. And you can use any sort of button, doesn't matter whether it matches because obviously it's underneath. I would use one though if you're working with a light color fabric, I would use a light color button. And you do want them to be flat as opposed to shank buttons. So this one is just regular 2-hole. These are also 2-hole buttons. So I'm gonna go through my button stash, see what I have that fits that bill, and then I'll show you how to do this little buttonhole. So I actually bought a few of this style of blouse from Target in different colors because I loved it so much, and I can't wait to incorporate all of these into my wardrobe. But we need to do this to all of them. So I'm going to keep wearing the purple one. We're going to work on this white one first. And this is the space where that first button needs to go. So first thing you need to do is mark the center point between these two buttons. I've used my friction pen to do that, and so I've marked on the inside of this side right here because this is where a button's gonna go, and then I've done a slightly bigger mark on the outside of this one. I'm not quite in line with these buttons yet. I wound up actually marking this mark in the center of this placket, but it should move over just a little bit here because these buttons are off center, and I want it to be centered with the buttons as opposed to centered on the placket so that everything lays nicely. So I went ahead and did a test buttonhole here. I put the button in the back of my machine foot, and I made a mark that I acted like was the center, and I wanted to see how far it would go down below that, because that way I could mark on here where I actually need to start it. So that's what I did. I did my test buttonhole. It worked great. I cut it open, and then over here I've now moved my mark because this is where the actual bottom of the buttonhole needs to be, and then this is moving it over so that it's in line with those buttons. So this is now where I'm going to go. This is all friction pen though, so I'm just gonna iron that off afterwards. And I'm also going to use a piece of tearaway stabilizer underneath the buttonhole because I find that it performs better. So it'll be like this, just right underneath. The other thing that I realized that I needed to do was to get my foot to actually sit in here, I needed to take off this button. So I just quick popped it off with my seam ripper, and I will put it back on in just a sec. I'm using a buttonhole punch to punch open this buttonhole. I will link a similar one down below. now that I've put that other button back on, I just want to compare where I'd originally marked with where this buttonhole actually is, because it's slightly off. So my mark wound up at the bottom of the buttonhole right here. So I just want to move that up just a tiny bit, make a new mark, a little bit more in the center, so that'll be where my button actually is on this reverse side. Now, the trick about sewing on this button is that you obviously don't want your threads to be on the outer side because you don't want anyone to know that there's a button there. So you do have to be quite careful to only pick up the lining side right here, but I'll show you what that looks like. Just like that, we finished our little extra secret button. And what that looks like on the inside is this. We have our little button friend right there, and it's keeping everything in place and making it so this doesn't pull at all on the exterior. So super, super easy project. I am now going to go do this to the other colorways of this shirt, like this one right here, so that I can have the matching secret button on all of these and no gapey button plackets anywhere to be found, no need for safety pins, nothing like that. So I hope that this video was helpful for you. If you like this video, please go ahead and click the thumbs up icon. And if you'd like to see more videos like this from me, please go ahead and click subscribe and the little bell icon to be notified every time I post a new video. I do post videos here on YouTube twice a week, with my sewing vlogs out on Tuesdays and other costuming content like this out on Saturdays, but I post every day over on my Instagram, so please go follow me on Instagram. It's at Lady Rebecca Fashions. And if you'd like to help support all of the work that I do on this channel, I do have a link to my Patreon and my Ko-fi account down in the description below. I'd also like to give a special shout out to my Edwardian level patrons, Heidi, Sharon, and Angela. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Happy sewing!